everybody, welcome to another quick video. Now, plan for today, we were actually going to get some nice moody light, some real sort of great conditions to get to Devoke Water up in the Lake District. Unfortunately that's not worked, and we've got some sort of mixed light with sunshine. But just over there is the Coniston range. So what we're going to do, have a wander up Bloweth Knot and see if we can get some nice shots across, have the light playing and see what sort of conditions pop up. Now there is maybe about a 20% chance of a shower, which if we get really lucky, we'll actually get running through the valley. But we'll see what we can get, have a wander, and hopefully get some nice shots out of it. But let's go and have a wander. You know, the reason for not doing a particularly big climb today is basically just getting over a chest infection over a couple of weeks. So I don't want to push it too far. This is sort of about as much as I want to do. But hopefully we'll get some nice shots from the top. And so there's some nice light, some interesting clouds going on. Might throw the polarizer on as well, just like play with it a little bit. Because where the light's coming from, I think it might work. But might even get down to the tarn, so if I can sort of get that into a bit of a composition. We'll see if there's anything left of the tarns. We've had quite a bit of wet weather, so we'll see what's there. But yeah, well, let's get up there. I'll sort of talk you through a couple of compositions and get a few snaps off. So what I've done, I've opted to put the 40 to 150 on with a 1.4 teleconverter. Just give me like the full frame equivalent of about 100 to 400. Main reason being, is just behind me over there, some fantastic light cropping through. I just want to get tight in and get some different sort of compositions on it. Now a couple of the peaks over there, they've actually got a bit of shadowing coming through from the cloud. And that actually works quite well, so I'm actually going to pull that down in post. To give it a really sort of moody look to it. A little bit of dehazing is probably going to be required as well, because it's a little bit hazy over there, but I think it's going to work okay. Moving a little bit further around, I don't know whether you'll be able to make it out, if I can get the camera to track me around. Further out over there, again, some fantastic sheens, which really you need the long lens for, which is why I've chucked it in the bag just in case. But definitely, dappled light, really nice conditions, and I think from this sort of area, you've got, yeah, almost sort of limitless shots as long as the conditions play nice for you. Yes, it'd be nice to get a bit of a squall coming across, something like that, especially with the sun being like that, get a bit of a rainbow effect. But I think from what we've got, I think it'll work okay. So I'll pop a couple of shots up now for you. So, over that way we've got, if I can just get my finger in frame, we've got the Old Man of Coniston over here, which, nice bit of cloud around it, so if I can just get this to spin around, so it's a little bit breezy, so it's messing it around a little bit. Basically you've got that sort of area there, you can cut that out, that'll give you a nice little frame. A little bit bright on that bit though, but if you sort of pan across, as you're coming across, that's where you see this great moody clouds. If I just pan this down, a little bit and across. Just over there you got Weatherlam. It's got a little patch of snow on it, but it's not a lot. But you can see with all the patterning that you've got, that with that moody cloud there, fantastic. Pull that back in post a little bit, just really bring the mood out. All across there you can get some really nice shots. And just pan a little bit further. Just this area, you look at that big vista, but with the longer lens you can really just crop it down, just really bring that feature set out. I mean, if you pan across here, it's coming across in towards the Helvellyn range. They're a little bit too misty to do much with today. but you can get a really nice feel for the entire area around here. It's really quite nice, and it's not a bad climb up really. Like I mean, yes, I struggled a little bit with my chest coming up, but that's just because of the chest infection. But definitely it's a nice little run up, and you can get some lovely shots from the top, especially when we've got conditions like this where frankly, yeah, they're not perfect, but you do have to adapt to your conditions. I mean, I don't know where you can work out the wind noise at the moment. I'm trying to sort of shield you from it, but it is very, very breezy. But like I said, the theme for this video, basically you have to adapt to your conditions. Yes, I'm slightly limited with what I can do today just because of the health reasons, but with what we were hoping for today, which would look like it's going to be further in, earlier in the week, we're looking for some really sort of mood clouds. Basically all that was going to be everywhere, minimal light, just mood everywhere, which for Devoke Water is absolutely perfect. It's the sort of conditions you need. These conditions at Devoke Water, it just doesn't work. There's too much sort of reflection, and like I say, at the moment, as you can tell, it's a bit breezy. It just wouldn't work with the water. So adapt to your conditions, get up somewhere like this. It's not a difficult drive to get to. It's not a difficult climb, but the views are stunning from this sort of area of all sort of the mid to southern fells, and it's a great sort of opportunity to get some lovely shots. Now, just over my shoulder over there, you've actually got Morecambe Bay. That gives you some idea of sort of what you can see from around here. Over that way, you've got also the Duddon Estuary and sort of out to the RSC along there as well. So literally stood on top of here, you've got a full 360 of some fantastic vistas. Bring a long lens, doesn't even matter if you've got sort of a lens that's sort of maybe up to like sort of a 300mm. You can get some fantastic shots across here. I mean, possibly the 100 to 400 Olympus that we've got, that would work brilliantly here as well. There's quite a few different sort of options that you've got. Play with it and just mess around with the compositions. So I've got a few shots from up here. I'm going to take a wander down to the tarn. I won't regret it afterwards, but I'm going to take a wander down to the tarn to see if I can incorporate that into something, looking across towards Weatherlum and sort of that sort of area. And if we get really lucky from that sort of area, might even get a shot of the Langdale Pikes, but I'm not sure they're going to come into view. But we'll have a wander down, get the back on, and see what we can see. As far as settings go for today, basically left everything in aperture priority. I'm shooting f8. Obviously I've not got sync IS with the 40 to 150, but with how bright it is at ISO 200, which is what it's fixed at, we're looking at sort of about 800ths of a second, which isn't a problem at all, so it doesn't really cause too much problem. Yes, it's a bit breezy up on top, but yeah, you can get away with it with that sort of shutter speeds. It's not too much of a problem. One thing I do tend to find I'm doing, especially if I'm doing bits a little bit further out, is I'll actually sort of use the onboard sort of digital zoom on this to actually sort of look deep in, make sure I've got the focus about where I want it. Normally stuff like this I'm sort of focusing about a third of the way into the scene. F8, everything's sort of sharp front to back, so it's not too much of a problem. Certainly on full frame, that's what I do at F11, so F8 on this seems to be about right, so it's not too bad at all. But yeah, just dropping down now towards the tarn. Obviously the breeze isn't down here because it's back that side of the ridge, which is quite handy, but it does mean we're actually sat in shadow. But the scaffold range looking really, really nice. Just dipping in and out of cloud, but there's light dancing off it. So I grabbed a couple of shots of that, and I can see just on the side of some of the fells as well, there's a couple of little patches of snow left, but nothing major. We did have a lot of rain come through last night, but it doesn't seem to have sort of dropped any snow. It's just a little bit too warm for it, I think. So I made it up to the tarn. It's not too bad. A little bit of light dancing, but there's not really a lot we can do with it, unfortunately. Bit of a shame, because I think it would actually be quite nice to incorporate something like that into a composition. Just trying to spin you out of the wind a little bit. But from here, I'm going to head over to the next peak, just along there, so you can get a bit more of a shot across that way. The light's dancing great over the scaffold range, but it's maybe a little bit far out, but taking a few snaps regardless. But definitely heading that way. It's just peak trough, it's just casting shadows. The light's just doing great things, the clouds are doing fantastic things. I mean, just look at those. If I can just get you to pan up. Brilliant, that's the sort of conditions I love for sort of these sort of vistas. I've taken a quick snap here. It's nothing spectacular, but I'll pop it up anyway. But going to sort of head a little bit higher up. Like I said, another peak just over there that we're going to head to. See if we can get some shots down and sort of get a few more sort of bits in there. But definitely a nice sedate day. And definitely if you're out and about in somewhere like this, it's just ideal. You know, there's no one around. It's brilliant. We've seen one other walker go by us and sort of a gaggle of people sort of further down that were going in a different direction. So really peaceful day and just nice relaxed photography, which is really, really nice. But get cracking up there and see what other shots we can get around there. One thing I have noticed as well, there's a lot of skylarks around. Did try and take a quick snap of it. If it comes out, I'll pop it up there because that'll be the first time I've actually managed to get a skylark. Typically I've not got the big lens on, but yeah, this up to 420mm. It's close enough, so we'll see what happens with it. But if it comes up, I'll pop it up now for you. As far as actually sort of taking the shots, what I'm trying to do is keep an eye on the exposure compensation. I'm shooting with 0 exposure compensation, but making sure that the histogram sort of stays within the realm. So I'm not sort of either going to sort of dump the shadows or sort of blow the highlights out. Very important for when I'm sort of trying to pull something back from that in post. What I'm also trying to do is just like, I'll experiment with it, just like playing with the compensation, bring it down a couple of stops, see what it looks like, so I'll know roughly what is going to come out when I'm sort of doing the post-processing. I've taken a few shots, sort of a stop under, you know, a third of a stop under, just give you a few more options. But yeah, those are nice conditions. It's getting a little bit harsh over there, but certainly, you know, certainly from this sort of end, looking down, you can just see a little bit of Coniston from up this area. Just looking at it that way, it's absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap back over to the 12-100 now. I'm going to duck down out of the wind before I do that, because it's quite breezy up here, and get a few sort of wider shots, because some of the rocks here I think will work quite well as a bit of a foreground. In hindsight, I would have actually bought the wide angle lens, the Panasonic 9mm, but I wasn't really thinking of, sort of this sort of thing when I came up, because I was just thinking, really harsh, I'm going to do the long stuff. But yeah, it's nice to actually sort of see some of the sort of the light around that's not really sort of doing a lot, but it's doing enough to actually make some quite nice images out of that. So yeah, so get the lenses swapped over, get a few more shots. Gonna start making a way back round. I mean, looking back towards the Ulverston area, there's some beautiful, beautiful light dancing on the hillsides, which is why I want to sort of swap back to the wide angle lens as well. So I'm going to get a few shots of that when I'm going back down as well. But gallery coming up, have a look through it, let me know what you think in the comments. If you'd like the video, please do give us a big thumbs up, really helps out. And if you've liked it a lot, hit the subscribe button, that helps too. But from a very bright and breezy Lake District, thanks for watching, we'll see you again next time. Take care.
Four feet on the stripes in the Alabama highway, out there in the open, just a wishing and a hoping. I could smell the pines when I let you in the doorway. Took the seat next to mine like you've been there before. I'm befriended in an illusion. at the end of my bed in the palm tree lightning. It was nothing you did, I just felt my low lightning. Now we talk all the time, it's a little one-sided.